You're watching GSTV UK. Keep watching.
Hello and welcome to What's Going On in South Asia. My name is Amjad Shah and you're watching GSTV UK. Nearly 9 months since COVID-19 emerged from the Chinese city Wuhan, the virus has spread fastest ever all around the world. It killed world's economy, some countries reporting the highest number of daily infection rates. The COVID-19 pandemic has spread with alarming speed, infected millions and bringing economic damage is already evident and represent the largest economic shock the entire world has ever experienced.
Yeah, surely it gives us really tough time, not just only in Pakistan or in South Asia, but people living in the four corners of the world have suffered a lot from pandemic COVID-19. But if we talk about South Asia and specifically of Pakistan, so we had suffered worse than the developed countries because of due to our low economic growth and financial constraint of the country. The country import and export got stopped, closing of the institution, private organizations and trade markets also added to the unemployment ratio.
Around the world, economies are crumbling since the coronavirus outbreak. The price of every vital commodity has fallen, not just even in South Asia, but across the globe too.
It has brought disruption to the globalized, interconnected world. The challenges of COVID have led to a dark period, both in terms of human suffering, but also the damage done to our political and social fabric. But before the pandemic, globalization was already in retreat. But now, their turn looks to accelerate.
America's Department of Labor has recorded the highest ever number of new unemployment claims in the past 2 weeks, just under 10 million. Over the past 2 months, the world's biggest stock markets have turned red. People are losing their jobs and it's quite difficult for them to find another job.
Lockdown. It was in the affected province. We have been able to resource and find alternative materials, but there's been price implications. Deltec has taken the view that we will absorb the costs for our customers in the short term, so we're expecting this to be a short-term hiccup.
Over the past 2 months, the world's biggest stock markets have turned red. People are losing their jobs and it's quite difficult for them to find another job here in Pakistan. When the dot-com bubble burst in 2000, it took almost 2 years for the S&P 500 to drop by 49%. The 2007 to 2009 financial crisis led to fall of almost 60% in just over a single year. In an effort to stop the deadly virus, businesses have been forced to close and citizens isolated at home on an unprecedented scale worldwide. It's caused a unique crisis, the impact of which will be greater on some industries in particular. Modern industry relies on goods and materials crossing borders. When they can't production, around the world is in danger. The coronavirus caused a break and the biggest link in this vast global supply chain. The true extent of the damage to the world economy will only start to become clear with the speed and strength of its recovery. In a V-shaped recession, the economy suffers rapid fall but rebounds very quickly, as opposed to a longer economic through before recovery or long-term up recession.
And during the pandemic, people from Pakistan and Afghanistan also got huge impact on their businesses. From both sides of the border, they were not sharing their goods with each other.
In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and our income, business and trade depends upon the import and export between the two neighbor countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. So unfortunately, in this pandemic of COVID-19, that to Pak-Afghan Torkham border also.
It is still too early to fully evaluate the economic, social and political impact of the pandemic that has already exacted thousands of lives across the globe, paralyzed and destroyed the world economy. The COVID-19 turned the global market into global hospital. And more importantly, the battle against the coronavirus pandemic needs a global response.
People from across the Europe and America are also being helped by unprecedented government responses. These short-term protection might reduce the damage the economy suffers, but this pandemic could last a long time. An almost a year-long lockdown would cost America and the European Union countries perhaps 1/3 of their GDP. Models looking at America suggest that ending lockdown would lessen that damage, but would lead to around 1 million extra deaths.
The impact of the pandemic on their economics, but with no way to prepare. The indication is that economic activity has been sledgehammered in the course of couple of points. So certainly you have lost absolutely revenue, which is the worst possible outcome for these businesses. But even if a business isn't directly losing out from people staying at home, lockdowns are having devastating ripple effects. But across the South Asia, millions of low-income were laid off. Goods taking long journeys from factory to high street have become signature of globalization. The roots of today's heavily globalized world were put down at the Second World War. The Allied nation created a rule-based system for international commerce and finance. This allowed companies' production in science and technology to move across borders. Then in the 1990s, the world entered an era of hyper-globalization. That's enough for tonight. For more news and update, keep watching GSTV UK. I will come with next program on next Saturday. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.